as his revelation is concerned, these are the people that are unity that so who is this that is the battalion of the Comanches. As you can see, proceeds virtually towards the stadium and towards the flag. The neighbors spoke to all the way from children representing themselves in well something military parading today. And with the dangerous people. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how goes here today, the 6th of October 2024. Clap for them, ladies and gentlemen, not easy. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir, then no, sir. Cycle of agents as far as the revolution is concerned. And the last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the border, the States and units, known as the Special Force. Very deadly and very wicked, very dangerous. A force that is and you can see they have the doctor kit, they have the technicians, and they have everything in control. They are so beautiful. On the shop today, most of the guys all the way from the border of the first 4%. The force that is leaded by a commander, so well. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today. And that those are the most demolition of the special force all the way from the borderland.
Yeah, this is a new Brigadier General. The Brigadier General of Unjinikam. This is the General of Bello, General Bullet. This is your new Brigadier General. General one man from Foumban. Colonel Mobutu Sisiko. Colonel Shina Mjinikam. The Almighty from Santa. And these are your battalions. Take command.
Soldiers, attention! Attention! Eyes! Attention! Attention! Chest out! Chest out! Chest in! Eyes! Today, na the 1st of October 2024.
So, if you see, today na 1st of October 2024, this one na the group of Bachongwa, the Black Mamba of Bachongwa, the Universal Soldier. So, and then this, we say, for our Independent Day, we must celebrate them, no matter the public than the wrong way. So, we go to the place where we celebrate them. And this cover will make us so. For any idea against this struggle, this cover is a revolution cover. Any idea do mind for this struggle, for set any fighter, for set or any activist for this struggle, we send the burial with the cover for ground. Yes. So the cover, sister again, they don't the over cash our leaders and for diaspora, the Christian and the local. So any people they against with the public government, for support the public government, if they catch our leader them, their senses and all go enter inside the government, we go lock them as soon as see them as it is so. Yes, and why that will make the cover. So by which leader the whole today by a prayer, nothing not will happen with the leader them. You see the last leader the whole now. I believe the prayers to make and they will let me free. So this is the population of Bachonga. This is Bachonga.
Here is the Air Force of Bui putting up their flag. The Air Force of Bui putting up their flag today, the 1st of October 2024, to prove to the world that they are able and capable to take care of themselves. Here in Bui, Air Force. Air Force.
This land of glory.
Yeah, today the 1st of October 2024. Here is the Air Force of Bui. Air Force of Bui. Under the leadership of Major General Viper, General Priest, and with the commanders in charge. Here is today the 1st of October 2024, doing their march past, celebrating the Independence Day. Air Force Live, the Air Force of Bui, Major General Viper Live, Air Force of Bui, doing their march past today, the 1st of October 2024. As you can see, they are well equipped, well armed. Air Force Live, Air Force Live, under the leadership of Major General Viper of Bui. The world should see how they are celebrating the Independence Day today, the 1st of October 2024, in the year of our Lord. Today, the 1st of October, here is the march past taking place in Bui, which is the land of no return. Here is the Air Force of Bui Live, Air Force Live, doing their march past today, the 1st of October 2024, under the leadership of Major General Viper, General Priest, and with their commanders, colonels, and captains. Air Force of Bui, celebrating today the 1st of October 2024.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to News Talk, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, coming to you from the great state of Houston, precisely. From the great state of Texas, precisely Houston, Texas. Good evening and welcome. I'd like to greet all of you who are tuning in from across the globe, referring to Africans and Amazonians in particular, joining from across the globe. The USA, Europe, the Middle East, South America, North America, including Canada. Thanks for tuning in. I come to you, of course, very excited again to bring you updates on what is going on on the Ambazonia fight for independence actualization. As you join, I will urge you to please go ahead and hit your share button. Let others know that the anchor man is live. The anchor man is live at this moment. If you are watching by way of satellite television and you are anywhere in Africa, particularly on where we call Ground Zero, please give a phone call to somebody to tune to their ABS site to listen to what I bring to you today. It is very, very important. And for those of you watching by way of the social media, that is Facebook and YouTube, please send the link to somebody out there to join the broadcast. And if possible, hit your share button. Let others join the platform. I come to you with a breaking story, a story that has the power to mar this Ambazonia fight for freedom that we have been into for the past 8 years. It is a very critical piece of information. And so I'd like everybody to gather on the platform. Please go ahead, hit your share button. The moment I see 100 people on Facebook, I will start this presentation proper. But I come to you with two subjects to discuss for the day. Before I get there, I like to go out and come back in less than a minute. Please stay put.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, once more, thanks for tuning in. I come to you with two very exciting subjects tonight. First, the Independence Day celebration that took place on Ground Zero in Ambazonia on October 1st. We're going to be talking about the success of it and the message that Ambazonians sent, not just to La République du Cameroon, but the international community. And then, as you must have seen out there yesterday in an advertorial that I sent out, we are facing a situation that I describe as another Foumban in the making, another Foumban in the making. What is it all about? It is about a conference that is being organized once more in Canada. It is scheduled to happen next week, October 8th through the 10th. But something is very much fishy about that conference, and that is what I bring to you tonight. It doesn't look good. It looks like a calculated effort or attempt from Yaoundé using some groups and some unknown Ambazonian groups and one international organization to try to carry out a quick fix to this conflict that has been ongoing for 8 years. Those are the two subjects that I will be discussing tonight, but of course, you know, I will always open my phone lines to take your contributions from wherever that you may be. So again, do me the favor, go ahead, hit your share button, let those who do not know I am live. let them go ahead to join the broadcast. Again, I'm looking for 100 people on Facebook. I see 77 right now or so. Please hit your share button. Okay, they are jumping now. Hit your share button, especially if you are on Facebook. Hit your share button. The moment I see 100, I kick off with my first monologue that has to do with the Independence Day celebration of last October 1st. What message does it send to La République du Cameroon and the international community as a whole? And even Ambazonians, those who are standing by the fence and hoping that it is all over soon and they just go about their businesses, their investments back on the ground. No, that is not going to happen anytime soon. That it will not happen anytime soon. One thing we are sure is that I think by now, every Ambazonian in the diaspora in particular knows that this liberation fight is not going to end the way they think. It's not going to end the way they think it will happen. There will be a negotiated settlement that will give us what we want. I think these 8 years have proven that we are up to the task. We are determined. We are resolved. And so, which is why I made the appeal last week for every Ambazonian in the diaspora that this is the moment you cease standing on the fence. Come out of your closet. Come out, step out, and contribute your quota to this liberation war. By now, everybody knows we mean business. We are not letting it go without victory. And I think even La République du Cameroon understand this, that we are not letting it go without victory, without a free and independent Ambazonia. So my appeal again is to every Ambazonian in the diaspora. We can all stand together or stand separated. But when the moment comes, just imagine when you will be asked, what role did you play? What was your contribution? It will be a shameful thing to know that victory was achieved, but you did not contribute anything. And please do not say that, oh, you know, from the beginning, from 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, and so on, I was contributing, I was supporting until blah, 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 blah. You know, comrades, this thing is not how about we started. What matters is how we end. And it is those who carry it to the end that matter. It is those who carry it to the end that really matters. So I am challenging every one of you out there. Don't say, I used to contribute. That was in the past. I am talking now of the present and of tomorrow. What is your contribution today and tomorrow? Be counted in the making of this piece of history that we are making here, ladies and gentlemen. It is very, very important. So please, there is no doubt we are winning this thing. And this is not propaganda. I have been saying this for 8 years. Never retracted. Never had any remorse. Because we see the signs. If anything, the last October 1st celebration was evidence we are winning this war. Did you see how many Ambazonian restoration fighters show up in March Pass all over Ambazonia? Did La République du Cameroon think we still have those number of fighters in the bushes? Of course not. They didn't think so. But they saw it. And if anything, it is that the war is not over. And it will not be won by the barrel of the gun. It will be won or decided on a negotiation table. So that's why I am appealing to every one of you to please stand up, be counted in this liberation fight for Ambazonia's future. Please, again, I am looking at the counter. 8 more people. Oh, just hit. All right. I will be going out now to bring you my first monologue for the day again. It is centered on the successful Independence Day celebration that we had last October the 1st. And after my monologue, I will then come to you with my main topic of the day. My main topic of the day has to do with this Foumban conference, the second Foumban conference that is scheduled for, I think, in Toronto, Canada, coming up next week. We are told it is October 8th to the 10th. I'm also hearing that there are thoughts of postponing it because of the disagreements which have come up between the organizers and Ambazonian frontline groups. So I will be coming to that monologue, that story shortly after this talking point on the independence celebration. On Tuesday, October 1st, the people of the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia once again showed the world that neither fear nor force could extinguish their relentless pursuit of freedom. Despite the overwhelming security presence and relentless threats from the Cameroon armed forces, Ambazonians poured into different town squares in their thousands to commemorate the 63rd anniversary of their independence. It was so successful that Bimi Mefo calls it AI initiated. Across the territories from Boyo to Bui, Ngoketunjia to Momo, and Fako to Boya, Ambazonians celebrated their independence with a defiant spirit, showcasing, ladies and gentlemen, military parades, patriotic marches, and even traditional dances. The celebrations were marked by a deep sense of pride and a strong message. Ambazonia remains unbowed, unbroken, and unrelenting. For the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, the AROF, October 1st was not just another day. It was a testament to their commitment to our cause. The restoration fighters, whose courage in the face of overwhelming odds has become legendary, organized the day's events despite the ever-looming threat of violence from the Cameroon military. These brave fighters, who have been at the forefront of the resistance against La République du Cameroon, ensure, ladies and gentlemen, that the people of Ambazonia could celebrate their independence with dignity and with pride. In Boyo, for instance, the indomitable General Eyu led his battalions in a spectacular parade that brought together thousands of civilians and fighters alike. The streets, once silenced by fear, were alive with the sounds of celebration and hope. Civilians who have suffered the brunt of the conflict marched alongside restoration fighters in a show of unity that underscored the unbreakable bond between the Ambazonian people and their defenders. In Bui, the famed unity warriors took center stage, leading a parade that demonstrated both military precision and the undying spirit of the Ambazonian cause. Fighters stood tall, displaying their artillery and armor in a bold statement that they remain a force to be reckoned with. Their resolve was clear. There would be no surrender, no retreat until Ambazonia's independence is fully realized. Similar scenes of defiance unfolded in Ngoketunjia, Momo, Bafut, Indian, and Fako. In each of these areas, the restoration forces organized military parades, singing of the Ambazonian national anthem, and flag-raising ceremonies. In some places, the celebrations were accompanied by traditional dances, as the people of Ambazonia sought to connect with their cultural roots while reaffirming their commitment to the struggle for freedom. Even in municipalities like Boya, where large public festivities were not possible due to the heavy presence of Cameroon's military, there was a complete shutdown in observance of the day. Streets were empty, businesses closed, and the air was thick with a quiet defiance that spoke louder than words. The people of Boya may not have paraded, but their silence was deafening. Perhaps, the most striking aspect of the celebrations was the bravery and selflessness of the Ambazonian restoration fighters. These men and women who have risked everything, ladies and gentlemen, in the fight for freedom, not only organized the events, but also ensured that the civilians were cared for. In many places, the fighters provided food and drinks for the crowds, a gesture that was deeply appreciated by the people. One civilian, in the message to ABS, expressed profound gratitude to the restoration forces for making the day possible. And I quote, "I am so happy," she said, "that our fighters not only protected us, but also fed us." End of quote. It was a day of celebration and unity, and I thank them for their sacrifices. End of quote, the civilian wrote. This act of generosity from the Ambazonia restoration fighters, despite the hardships they themselves faced, exemplifies the close relationship between the restoration forces and the people they defend. For the restoration fighters, the day was not only about military displays and parades. It was also about reaffirming their commitment to protect their people. In speeches made throughout the celebrations, commanders of the various forces promised to continue the fight until Ambazonia's independence is fully achieved. They thanked the population for their unwavering support and vowed to stand as their protectors in the ongoing conflict. The scale, ladies and gentlemen, of the celebrations across Ambazonia caught the Cameroonian government completely off guard. For years, officials in Yaoundé had clung to the belief that the resistance in Ambazonia was weakening, that the restoration fighters were all on the verge of defeat, and that the civilian population was too frightened or demoralized to continue supporting the cause. But the events of October 1st shattered that La République du Cameroon's illusion. Cameroon's officials were stunned to see the thousands of civilians and fighters taking to the streets in a show of solidarity and defiance. They had not anticipated such a massive public celebration, especially not in areas where their military presence is strongest. The sight of restoration forces leading parades, raising flags, and singing patriotic songs sent a clear message. Ambazonia is far from defeated. The La République du Cameroon's government, which has long relied on military force to suppress the Ambazonian movement, now faces a stark reality. It is that, despite years of brutal repression, they have not been able to crush the spirit of the Amazonian people. The celebrations on October 1st, if anything, sent a powerful message to Yaoundé. This is not a conflict that can be resolved by military force or by the barrel of the gun alone. The Amazonian fighters, backed by their people, are not going away anytime soon. They will not surrender, and they will not be silenced. As Amazonia celebrated its 63rd Independence Day, the message to both Cameroon and the international community, ladies and gentlemen, was clear. The fight for freedom is far from over. The restoration forces, backed by the unwavering support of the people, remain committed to their cause. Their determination, their courage, and their unity have only grown stronger in the face of adversity. For the people of Amazonia, October 1st was not just a day of festivities, of celebrations. It was a reminder of the sacrifices made over the years and a reaffirmation of their collective resolve to achieve true independence. And that is my monologue on the subject of the 1st October celebrations, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring in my panel now for a moment. I am being joined by Comrade Sama Thomas and Comrade Dennis Artem. Comrade Dennis, if you hear me, if you can turn your camera to be landscape, please, horizontal, that would be better. Let me start with you, Comrade Sama Thomas. Can you hear me? Sama Thomas seems to be sleeping on his desk. Comrade Sama, can you hear me? The man is seated there but sleeping. All right. Comrade Dennis, again, I see you. If you can swing your camera to be horizontal, please.
Mr. Ano, for some reason, my camera does not turn to landscape on my phone.
It was before, though.
Then,
all right, you try to do that
no,
while I get
was
to
using
Sama
the
Thomas,
computer.
who can hear me now. Good morning, Comrade Sama. You were sleeping over there.
Absolutely, you're right.
I hope you did hear my monologue about the 1st October celebrations.
I did. I got everything as you presented it.
Now, I like to, let's start from here. I like to show you this image. This image emerging from CRTV, Yaoundé. On October 1st, an anchor over CRTV had on amber national colors. Amber national colors. Take a look. Take a look at those colors. Can you imagine that? That on October 1st, an anchor over CRTV put on Amazonian national colors. I mean, nothing slightly different.
Ayok Tabe at Kondengi, even mistaken for blue and white. Blue and white now in La République du Cameroun is a contraband. I don't know how we managed to lay hands on this particular outfit to put went right to CRTV to present a news. If she's a La République citizen, she might be pardoned. But if she's coming from the southern, that is where the big problem lies.
So, Sama, what do you think? You saw the wonderful celebrations that took place all over Amazonia on October 1st. I don't think Cameroon thought Amazonian fighters are still in that number. They were taken by surprise, isn't it? What do you think is going on in their minds right now?
I myself, I was surprised to have seen that number of soldiers that came out for the celebration of 1st October 2024. I couldn't believe my eyes. that we still have that number of soldiers fighting for the liberation of most importantly, the places that these boys are there marching on 1st October. It is not as if they are in the bushes, they are in towns, whether that we accept it or not, which brought this idea to my memory that what we have to do now is to see how we can reorganize these boys for this the struggle, and I will put it in past tense, has been won. The struggle has been won. It needs just a unifying leader that can bring all these guys together, and the final push will be made for La Republic to leave the southern Cameroons. Let me go back to the question which you asked me: what does La Republic think, if at all, they thought they've defeated the boys in the southern Cameroons? I believe now in La Republic they are now snatching their teeth for seeing the number of soldiers that came out on the 1st of October, not in some forest, I don't know, in Congo, not in some forest in Burundi, but in the open grass field of Bamenda and in the villages, village centers, and what they call divisional headquarters. I was asking myself, where were La Republic's army that these boys are marching in towns, playing drums, and the whole village is out, which is something that they will not do on 20th May or 11th February. So the question now is, do we have critical thinkers in La Republic of Cameroon? If at all we have, I think this is the time that they will tell their master Paul Biya and France that the game is over. There is no way you can reverse it.
Well, I hope somebody is there to deliver that message to their master Paul Biya. But if nobody does, at least we are channeling that message from here to them. You make a good point. You make a good point. I think it is high time that Ambazonians rally around and see what can be done to reorganize these fighters who so far have demonstrated lots of bravery and courage. But it takes money, Comrade Summer. It takes money. Now, you and I, we know that not many people are supporting the struggle as it used to be. What would you say to that class of people?
Comrade Chris, in the early days of this struggle, I made as if I was a prophet of doom, but it had been proven that I was a prophet with the exactitude of a Jewish prophet. But when I saw the fanfare that was in Southern Cameroonians, I said, anybody that is in for this struggle should be prepared for the long run. As if I was jogging. 6 months after I made a statement, our number started dwindling to what it is today. Freedom is not cheap. Let me tell you, I've been telling Southern Cameroonians this over and over. Freedom is not cheap, and it is not a day or a year's or 1 year affair. It can take a duration of 30, 40, 50 years. The Indian people fought for almost a century for their freedom. The people of Eritrea fought for more than 30 years for their freedom. Let me ask Southern Cameroonians. I've been here for more than 30 years, and I am still standing. What about you who joined the struggle just in 2000 and let me say 2017?
Right.
Within 6 months, you are already way out. It therefore means you are not ready for struggle. You are not ready for the independence of Southern Cameroons. Anybody that is ready for the independence of Southern Cameroons, no matter how long it takes, you will still be struggling. If it's a matter of crawling, as Martin Luther King said, crawl. If you can run, if you can walk, do. If you can run, run. If you can fly, fly. do it at your own capacity, but surrender is not in our vocabulary. Everybody that succeeds, as Dr. For used to say,
All right.
winners never quit and quitters never win.
Absolutely. Let me get to Comrade Dennis and get his take on these Independence Day celebrations all over Ambazonia. Comrade Dennis, good to have you back, sir. Tell us, give us your take on how you felt looking at those boys all over Ambazonia displaying their bravery.
Thank you, Comrade Chris. I must say that we owe much to our young soldiers on the ground. They are our heroes. We give them more than 21 gun salute for their bravery, for their courage, for their demonstration of nationalism. It is unfortunate that I hear you saying the support is dwindling. No, I don't think so. You can see the
No,
young men there.
when I
Is
said
that
support, I meant financial support.
no, but you see that is not something for us to say. It will come. It's just to
Well,
encourage
we have to
people
be we have to be
consider
pragmatic
supporting.
and let
You know,
people not sit there
no,
and
please.
take the glory when they
It's
are not
just to
supporting, right?
continue no, those are things we should say when we are with our own people to encourage them to continue contributing. So
All right, go on.
really, I want to appreciate the fact that these boys came out in their full force to demonstrate that Ambazonia is alive and kicking, and that no matter the intimidation of the colonial master, colonialism will finally surrender. It is unfortunate that human beings don't want to learn. Look throughout history, nowhere has colonialism succeeded. But Paul Biya and his crooks believe that it will succeed in Cameroon. It will not succeed. They are wasting their time. Colonialism is very stubborn, but at the end of the day, it will surrender. No colonial master has ever said that it will surrender, but all of them do. All of them do surrender at the end of the day. So I encourage all Ambazonians to know that we are facing reality of history. That is to say, colonialism against freedom. Freedom will never surrender to colonialism. It is colonialism that will surrender. So Cameroon should better sit up and understand that it is wasting its time, it's trying to stop a flowing river with its hands, and that this matter will end on the table. Cameroon should accept negotiations quicker rather than to continue to slaughter and make a hell of all of these people who just simply want to live their lives. Wouldn't it be a great joy for Ambazonia to be free and for La République du Cameroon to be free also and have the chance to develop itself? Just imagine the struggles they are going through. The country is in dilapidation today because they believe that they want to spend their money to fight Ambazonia. Let us see who will surrender. Let us see who will surrender. So I highly appreciate what our restoration forces have done on this 1st of October 2024. I thank them very much. And I want all Ambazonians to appreciate our great forces on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you. I will ask the same question I asked Comrade Sama. Seeing what we saw on the ground, what do you think is going on in the minds of technocrats in La République du Cameroon, considering that they thought, oh, they have done away with Amba fighters and they have only a pocket of resistance? What do you think is going on within their circles now? Comrade Dennis, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Now,
Okay.
Chris, I just said that colonialism is very stubborn. Paul Biya has made himself a god to all those people on the ground. So, as long as Paul Biya has not surrendered, all of them will keep recycling and repeating what he's saying. Peace, peace. It's just a handful of boys who are left, and so on. They can deceive themselves as much as they want, but they have a chance to see the reality. But they don't want to accept that reality. I think I sent you something about celebrating the grand dialogue or something like that. You
Yes.
can see their minds. They are so far in the stone age that they don't understand what negotiation means. They don't understand what peace means. All they believe is that they will impose their will on the people of the southern Cameroon. So I don't even think that they're thinking anything really. These are not people who have a mind, because they will not allow a senseless war to go on for 8 years and counting. They will not allow it. For what reason? Because they don't even value the lives of their soldiers. Their soldiers are killed, people are killed, they destroy villages. It means nothing to these people from darkness. It means absolutely nothing to them. So I don't even think that they're thinking anything really. Because if they were thinking anything, they would not be maneuvering to go and hold another meeting in Canada. They will come out sincerely and say, now let's sit down and talk, because it is to our own advantage to end this war also. It is not just for Ambazonia, it is also for in the interest of La République du Cameroon to end this war. So if they are thinking anything, that is what I want them to come out and say that look, we have allowed this senseless war to go on for 8 years. It is time to end it. It is time for everybody to begin to feel free, to have their own development, and to just simply live as human beings. Because look at the state of so-called Cameroon today. If you open the door, everybody will escape that huge prison. Why? Because nobody feels at ease. It is all darkness, complete chaos and confusion. So really, I think that I don't think these people are thinking anything, because if they are thinking anything, they would not have let this war go on for 8 years and more. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. I will ask that you all stay put in there. Let me quickly take you guys to my main story of the day about the Foumban meeting as I described it, holding in Canada. But I can't stop looking at these beautiful colors over CRTV. I think they are subtly beginning to realize that Amazonia is not just a social media affair, as they would love to say. They are beginning to graduate into it slowly but surely and airing us officially over CRTV. I don't know what the name of this lady is, but I want to appreciate you. And she looks beautiful, beautiful in there. Comrade Saba. Right? I hope she is single, right?
That's the question we could have asked her if the means, if I told we have the means to ask her, we could have asked her and see what we can do.
Okay. All right, all right. So I will take you guys out for a brief 60 seconds break. And when I come back, I will now go to the next subject, which is the subject on the conference.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put in there. At this moment, I take you to my next talking point that focuses on the Canadian conference, which I describe as another Foumban in the making. And when I make that reference to Foumban, I want to believe you guys out there understand the angle from which I make reference to Foumban, because we all know what Foumban was. We all know what Foumban was as far as our history is concerned. And the subject of this talking point is another Foumban in the making, a closer look at the clandestine Canadian Peace Plan Conference. Canadian Peace Plan Conference. In 1961, the town of Foumban urged itself into the history books as the place where the union between French Cameroon or La République du Cameroun and the Southern Cameroons was forged. For some, it was a day of unity, but for others, particularly the Southern Cameroons, it was the start of annexation and decades of marginalization, resentment, and a sense of betrayal. Now, over 60 years later, finding itself in a similar predicament, the chances of Ambazonia walking away, La République du Cameroun whispers another Foumban-like event, this time in Canada. A clandestine conference scheduled for next week or next weekend has been convened with a purported aim of forging a peace plan that could finally bring an end to the 8-year-long conflict in the Cameroons. However, much like Foumban, this conference coming up in Canada is being criticized for its secrecy, lack of transparency, and the potential for further marginalization. The shadowy nature of this upcoming conference has raised eyebrows among many Ambazonia stakeholders and key players in the ongoing conflict. While the official aim is to forge a peace plan and chart a path forward, many are concerned that the process itself is deeply flawed. Among other goals, the conference in Canada seeks to determine the form of state for Cameroon moving forward, secure the release of political prisoners, and negotiate a ceasefire. Yet, the participants involved in the conference are largely unknown entities and groups who claim to represent the Ambazonian cause, but have little to no recognition or legitimacy among the actual leadership of the Ambazonian movement. These unknown groups or participants, together with the Cameroon government and religious figures in Cameroon, are pushing this initiative. One organization called International Communities Organization, ICO, is taking the lead in organizing or sponsoring the event. The ICO, International Communities Organization, which remains relatively obscure in global diplomatic circles, appears to be fronting this peace effort with a singular focus, that is, to end the conflict by promoting a solution rooted in the status quo, that is, the current regional structure within Cameroon. The proposed peace plan appears to sidestep any meaningful conflict resolution. Instead, it suggests that the grievances of the Anglophone population will be sufficiently addressed in the peace plan, negating the root causes that sparked the conflict in the first place. The problems with the conference, however, the problem with the conference are these. To understand why this conference is a subject of concern, it is important to consider the fundamental flaws in its design. At its core, the conference is not a genuine negotiation or dialogue between Ambazonia and La République du Cameroun, yet it seeks an end to the conflict. Rather than bringing together representatives from both sides of the conflict to engage in open and transparent discussions, The conference in Canada seems to be orchestrated by one faction, that is, unknown groups, some of whose leaders currently operate businesses in Cameroon. They have unilaterally decided on a course of action. These decisions, or the peace plan they call it, will then be forwarded to the Vatican, which in turn is expected to secure Cameroon's endorsement of the plan. This approach is deeply problematic for several reasons. Number one, the lack of transparency surrounding the conference. All of the frontline Ambazonian groups were invited through the Consultative Commission, but have been kept in the dark. Again, they have been kept in the dark about the specifics of the conference, including a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, that was secretly reached or signed between the sponsor, ICO, and individuals like Ngong Emmanuel, or they also call him Capo Daniel, who himself is a controversial figure. Capo Daniel, once a prominent voice for Ambazonian independence, has recently shifted his stance towards advocating for regional autonomy rather than full independence, a position that many believe aligns more closely with the interests of the Cameroon government than with the aspirations of Ambazonian people. While Ngong Emmanuel, or Capo Daniel, and a few others push for the so-called devolution or regional autonomy backed by the government of Cameroon and the bishops, many Ambazonian leaders remain steadfast in their pursuit of full independence. For these leaders, any discussion about a settlement or peace plan must involve a sit-down with the Cameroon side as equals. They have made it crystal clear that they will not accept a situation where one faction speaks for the entire Ambazonian people without their consent or input. Most of the consultations leading up to the event have been conducted in secrecy, with little to no involvement from key Ambazonian leaders. This has led to widespread distrust, particularly as the organizers, the ICO and Capo Daniel, have refused to release critical details of the MOU with Capo Daniel to frontline Ambazonian groups. This secrecy has fueled speculation that the conference is little more than a ploy to impose a predetermined outcome on the Ambazonian people, one that serves the interests of Yaoundé, rather than addressing the core issues that have fueled the conflict in the first place. Now, I'd like to bring you the role of the clergy, the bishops in Cameroon. Another key player in this unfolding drama is the clergy. For months, religious leaders have been involved in behind-the-scenes maneuvers to broker understanding within Ambazonian leadership. Notably, a clergy delegation led by Archbishop Andrew Nke of the Catholic Church and the Reverend Funky Samuel of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon met with some Ambazonian leaders, including yours truly, both in the United States and abroad. Their mission was to persuade the Ambazonian leadership to participate in a certain conference, in other words, this Canadian conference, and then another one at the Vatican, where the clergy hope a peace plan that would end the conflict would be drafted and then submitted to the Vatican. However, The Ambazonian leaders were clear in their response. They would not attend any conference unless it involved direct negotiations with the Cameroon authorities. Ambazonian leaders expressed their willingness to dialogue or to meet with Yaoundé any time, any day, but rejected the idea of a one-sided process where the Ambazonian leaders or leadership would be expected to negotiate among themselves without the involvement of the other party, which is Yaoundé. The leaders also voiced concerns that the Cameroon clergy, had been meeting with Capo Daniel in an effort to speed up the process leading to the Canadian conference. In other words, the Catholic clergy and the Presbyterians, they have endorsed Capo's conference. They were essentially trying to convince the Ambazonian leadership to embrace Capo Daniel autonomy peace plan, arguing that this would be a more palatable solution for the Cameroon government. In other words, they were out pivoting for the Cameroon government. This revelation has only added to the perception that the Cameroon clergy, Bishop K and Funky, rather than acting as neutral mediators, are in fact working to advance a peace settlement that favors Yaoundé. With them backing the Canadian conference and the ICO, it is now clear that the clergy's efforts were part of a broader scheme to lure Ambazonian leaders into a peace settlement that prioritizes regional autonomy over full independence. For many Ambazonian leaders, this is simply unacceptable. Now, why do I make the allusion to Foumban in this about this conference? The parallels between this new Canadian conference and the historic events of Foumban are striking. You will recall that in Foumban, the Southern Cameroon delegation was sidelined, while key decisions were made by the leadership of French Cameroon. In fact, they came with a pre-prepared document. Today, the fear is that history may be repeating itself, if not averted. The ICO, which, like the French Cameroon delegation in 1961, is coming to the table with a pre-prepared peace plan, one that has already been negotiated behind closed doors. This plan, they will claim, represents the will of the Ambazonian people, despite the fact that it has been crafted without their input. The goal of the International Communities Organization, ICO, and its collaborators is very clear: to present the peace plan to the international community as a settlement that has the backing of the Ambazonian leadership and stakeholders. Falsehood. This plan will then be submitted to Yaoundé for approval, just as the Foumban Accords were. But for the legitimate leaders of Ambazonia and stakeholders, this process is nothing more than a facade, an attempt to impose a solution that does not address the root causes of the conflict. As the conference draws nearer, coming up again October 8 to the 10th, if not changed, the warnings from the Ambazonian leaders have become more urgent to every one of you out there. They have made it clear that they will not accept any peace plan that does not come from a conflict resolution process. For them, the only way forward is through meaningful dialogue with the Cameroon government. Dialogue that acknowledges the legitimate grievances of the Ambazonian people and seeks to address them in a way that is both fair and just. The path forward, ladies and gentlemen, the Canadian conference represents a critical moment. Fraud with potential dangers, particularly for the Amazonian people, If history has taught us anything, it is that peace plans imposed from above rarely succeed in bringing about lasting solutions. Real peace can only be achieved through open, through transparent dialogue that involves all stakeholders and addresses the root causes of the conflict. For the Amazonian people, the stakes could not be higher. They have endured 8 years of brutal conflict, with thousands of lives lost and millions displaced. Their demand for justice, self-determination, and recognition cannot be ignored or swept aside in the pursuit of a quick fix. It is imperative that the voices of the Amazonian people be heard, and that their aspirations for a future free from oppression be respected in any peace or a justice process. Only then, and only then, can there be hope for a genuine and lasting peace. One that does not repeat the mistakes of Foumban, but instead charts a new course in the free and independent Amazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, again, that is my monologue and my recap of what is going on in Canada. That meeting is supposed to be coming up, we are told, October 8th to the 10th. I guess that is sometime next week. Comrade Dennis, if you are still there, you first called my attention to what was. Comrade Dennis, you seem to be frozen, sir. If you hear me, go ahead and log out and log back in. Please, Comrade Dennis, if you can hear me, you are frozen. Log out and log back in. But I was saying that, Comrade Dennis, you first brought this agenda, tentative kind of timetable program for this Canadian conference to me. Of course, we have known about it. When I say we, I mean we are the interim government and the consultative commission. We have known about it. We have discussed it, and we deliberated it over it on quite a number of occasions, asking ourselves the question: should we attain or not attain? But at the end of the day, the consensus has been that, considering that organization, the ICO, that is sponsoring this thing, is not willing to be transparent, especially when it initially entered into a memorandum of understanding with Capo Daniel. The consultative forum, we demanded to see a copy of that MOU, knowing that Capo Daniel no longer speaks for a free and independent Amazonia. So far, the ICO refused to release that MOU. And so we have said, it essentially means that you guys know what you are preparing to come and table before us. So, unless we see that MOU, we are not going to sit on the table. And number two, we made it very clear, Capo Daniel is not one of us. He doesn't speak for Amazonia. Maybe he used to in the past, but as of moment, he speaks for La République du Cameroon. And we have made it abundantly clear, and we also made this known to the bishops, that we cannot sit on the same side of the table discussing Amazonia with Capo Daniel. He doesn't belong to our side. He belongs to the side of La République du Cameroon. Our visions have changed. He speaks a one Cameroon in the devolution or regional autonomy. We speak the language of a free and independent Southern Cameroon, Amazonia, and so he no longer belongs to our side. And if the ICO cannot release the MOU that they entered into with Capo Daniel, we're not willing to go and sit in the on the platform that is not that doesn't want to be transparent. So, Comrade Dennis, again, you brought this tentative plan to me. and you also wrote a piece which was very critical of what you read in that plan. I'd like you to enlighten people what you saw is wrong, is what you saw wrong in that plan. Comrade Dennis, please.
Thank you, Comrade Chris. Let me say that I think you have presented the plan in a much better light than it actually is. You compare it to Foumban. No, this is much worse than Foumban. It has no relationship. It is much worse than Foumban. First of all, in Foumban, we were talking of the representatives of the people of the Southern Cameroon talking to La République de Cameroon. In this particular conference, there is no representative of Ambazonia in that conference. This is Capo Daniel's work. It is a fabrication. You need to read what is proposed as a peace plan before you understand. It is simply another version of special status, and even a worse version because it begins by saying that, oh, there will be reintegration, there will be this, there will be that, before it says after that, there will be a referendum. How does La Republic accept a referendum after you have considered everything, accepted that people should be reintegrated and all those things before you come and talk? It was just simply to whitewash the thing to say that there was something for Ambazonia. There's absolutely nothing in Ambazonia in that so-called peace plan. Absolutely nothing. It is simply another version of the special status, and you can see why they are acting in secrecy and not allowing the Ambazonian representatives to even come near the details of what is going on. So I think my comment here is simply that this thing, people need to read it. They need to circulate that so-called peace plan for people to see the disaster that Capo Daniel is planning for us. The reason why we stress so much about a referendum is that a referendum will represent the voice of the people of the Southern Cameroon themselves. It is not for any Tom and Dick to cook up his own version of what he wants to impose on the people of the Southern Cameroons and come and force it down their throats. No, that is why we insist on a referendum, because a referendum, a transparent referendum supervised by the international community, will give the people of the Southern Cameroons an opportunity to tell the world exactly what they want. This so-called peace plan has no negotiation in it. There's absolutely nothing there. Because how do you say you are negotiating when you have begun by accepting all those things and talking of reintegration, financial benefits, and all that for people who have surrendered? No, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
they're essentially talking about it's beyond a peace plan. They're essentially talking about the end of the conflict without any resettlement.
No, there is no address to the root causes at all. There's no mention of the root causes. Nothing is negotiated. It's simply an attempt to force down the throat of the people of the Southern Cameroons, La République de Cameroon's imposition. This is simply a version of the special status, nothing else, nothing else. All the things they say in it, they will put this in the constitution, put this in the constitution, put that in the constitution. I ask them one simple question: show me one single element in the Cameroon constitution that has been respected. What could be stronger than Article 47 of the Federal Constitution, which they threw in the dustbin without any caring? You see, we have said it over and over again. A sheep cannot sign an agreement with a wolf. You are wasting your time. There is no way the people of Ambazonia will sit down and negotiate with La République de Cameroon on the basis of La République making promises to us, because there's no way for us to enforce those promises. Absolutely no way. So the only way is separate houses. We have our own house. There's no reason for us to go and join our house with that of the neighbor, unless the people of the Southern Cameroon say that they don't deserve to have a house of their own. But it is absolutely sad, my brother, to see history, understand history, and go ahead and commit another betrayal after all this struggle from 1961, plus the 8 Years' War, and all the torture we have gone through in the hands of La République du Cameroon, the colonial master. So it is very saddening. It is very saddening. It is very, very saddening. Maybe people may not see it from my light, but I see it because I understand history and I see exactly where history takes us. So I can tell you, if you do something, I can tell you that where it will go wrong.
Anything that lacks transparency, only a dull person will follow it, sit in it, and agree to the outcome of it. And for as long as that transparency is not there, we have made it very clear we are not going to be part of it. And that organization cannot call a conference that has to do with us, and it wants to take control of everything. That is exactly what is going on per our discussions in the consultative forum or commission. Yesterday, they want to take care of everything. They will produce every documentation. They will come out with a pre-arranged peace agreement and announce and purport it to be coming from, the discussions that took place during the conference. But this is what
Comrade Chris, let me just say something. I have looked at Comrade Chris, let me just say something. I've tried to look at the background of that organization. It has no weight at all. Don't be surprised that La République du Cameroon may have paid this institution to come and pretend to serve as an international body.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be surprised at all. Don't be surprised at all.
Some people we have now learned that the ICO, they call themselves International Communities Organization, is a proxy of Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley, you all know Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley is a big business. I mean, you carry all these credit cards, and most of them are coming from Morgan Stanley. It is an investment company, ladies and gentlemen. Morgan Stanley is an investment company, and ICO is their offshoot. It's a proxy. But this is what the couple Daniel promised them. He promised them and arranged with Cameroon that he will convince the fighters on the ground to lay down their arms. Now, if this is being done in good faith, where we all come sit on the table and discuss a way of bringing peace and getting people lay down their arms, why would Capo Daniel go to the fighters and is telling them Cameroon will give them money to lay down, so they should lay down their arms and their locations will not be attacked? I'd like you to listen to this audio where Capo Daniel is being exposed. The restoration fighters are actually exposing Capo Daniels in respect to this conference. You listen to that, then I will come back to you.
Now, if I take that decision, you don't need to tell me the area where una did it. When the agreement it can be signed, because it must be signed, we know if it will be foolish. When the agreement will be signed.
I think you are hearing the voice of Capo Daniel there. You are hearing the voice of Capo Daniel there. Let's start it all over again, please.
Now, if I take that decision, you don't need to tell me the area where una did it. When the agreement it can be signed, because it must be signed, we know if it will be foolish. When the agreement will be signed, that particular area, the Cameroon government, they will promise that they no go ever attack that area during this negotiation process. That particular area will never be attacked. You will get your weapons and I will continue to support you. But you no need to talk in public, na private thing. Now me and you and the commander, they will know. So that when I will be alive, when I will be in the reserve, if they talk say, okay, we don't get solution, now we want to join our own police, now how we do participate with the police, the international community will come, they can train una go get international assurance. If they don't talk say, okay, now they will compensate, fight at them. Now how much they will compensate, fight at them. Now which job then the company do it and be ready to invest for our territory. Now which job they do it to offer them for. Now one way they don't want to remain for carry on, but the one for join the civilian life. Anything we ever do for the crime, they need for cancel them. For we be charged for anything you don't do, because even the Cameroon that accepts the problem may be real. So now the solution that would push and forth. You need to understand them very well so that if you explain for the so the way you and then they trust me, eventually all man will come under this solution.
My people, when I be down and say Capo Daniel, now the president of all black legs, some people be feel say at the joke. Now Capo Daniel is to convince our brothers make the surrender. He even try to convince them, say Cameroon will reward them. The one the way they don't surrender, go join the arrow. Don't be Cameroon reward them. He reward them with Kunenge prison, where they enjoy some concumization and special status. The one the way they go join the arrow. Like this boy, how they even call this guy himself. Where they be reward with Okada. The same reward where they reward my countryman junior, who say the bone con, professional body con. They don't also reward it again with Kunengi, when he enjoys some customization and special status. This be my advice to you, Capo Daniel. Scamming strategy, you need to work again. Don't bad, you don't cast. Use another strategy. And I want to use this opportunity to thank all the defense forces across the 13 states. Say on a place day. This lockdown, we not only tell Cameroon, but we also tell the world that despite our differences, when it comes to our country and
all right, I'm sure you all heard Capo Daniel there, the promises to the fighters, the promise of money, the promise of position, the promise of protection. And this is just the one we know. The ones he sent to other commanders and fighters, we do not know. But that is part of the whole plan of this Canadian thing, because if there is no laying down of arms, there is no, remember, it is about a ceasefire, the release of prisoners. I mean, Dennis, you read that document and you responded to it. How can people think that because somebody has written to me and said, Chris, make sure you guys are on that table in Canada. Make sure you guys go there. Are we so desperate for a quick fix for this thing after 8 years where we've sacrificed lives and blood? Comrade Sama?
Even if we are desperate, we will not take just everything thrown at us because of our desperation. Let me put this to Bishop Nkea and Reverend Funky. It seems I'm being disturbed in my spirit to describe these two guys as reverends. Let me put it this way. Nkea and Funky are like midwives that are in the maternity or theater because of a cesarean pregnant woman that needs to be operated upon. But the operation is being carried out on Nkea and Funky. Let me make it simple again for these two guys to understand. When somebody brought a coin to Christ and asked him, is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar? Christ took that coin and looked at it and asked, whose head is in that coin? Said Caesar. Christ said, give what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. What am I saying? If Nkea and Funky were sincere enough, they could have asked the so-called IOC or whatsoever that we are not those carrying guns and buying guns that are being used in the bushes. The boys fighting in the bushes, we have no control over them. But the people that have control over these boys in the bushes are elsewhere, and directed the IOC to these people so that they can come and meet us from the priest for us to start talking. If Nkea and Funky didn't do that and put themselves in position of negotiation, then Nkea and Funky are placing themselves into harm's way. If Nkea and Funky look at takes Capo Daniel as a relevant person to deal with, then I really wonder if these guys have the stamina to man God's pulpit, to talk to God's people. I wonder if Nkea in Foumban, he could have done even the beat that Foncha did. Foncha did the best he could at Foumban by saying, let us suspend this meeting. We go back, recall it, let me discuss with my delegation. After some time, we call this meeting and continue with this meeting. So Foncha made no mistake to ask for the suspension of Foumban. But for what Kenya is doing by conniving with the colonial authorities, maneuvering, struggling to think that he can maneuver over Southern Cameroonians to accept special status and even something worse than special status, then Kenya is the devil himself. Kenya, if I'm not mistaken, Kenya is coming from Laburu, Cameroon. That is why he is playing the game that Domu played by asking Ahijo to colonize the Southern Cameroons. For the Southern Cameroons colonization came from the Catholic Church via Domu. He was the who advised Ahijo how to colonize the Southern Cameroons, and Nkea had picked up where Domu ended. But he has failed, for he had never bought on. And let me tell Nkea and Funky something. They shouldn't be putting themselves into harm's way. For we have struggled to protect the church in Southern Cameroons, that church leadership kept out of this struggle. If they will not want to respect their neutrality, then we will take them to be a state party to the conflict between the people of Southern Cameroons and Laruru Cameroon, and they are positioning themselves into the position of Laruru Cameroon, and anything that shows Laruru Cameroon is a potential target for the people of Southern Cameroon. But we are not going to tolerate any nonsense that is going to jeopardize our quest for freedom. These guys should be very careful.
Comrade Dennis, what is your take on what you hear from Capo Daniel out there?
Well, I would say that Capo can see from the celebrations of 1st October 2024 that his mission to deceive Ambazonians and their fighters has failed woefully. He will be surprised to see that all these guys who came out, he has spoken to many of them, trying to scam them because he's a scammer, he's a thief, he's an absurd person trying to play the role of Judas and a traitor to his own people. And he has failed in that endeavor. So, really, I don't know what to say because this fellow, I cannot believe that someone with a minimum level of intelligence who want to put his people in a situation worse than they were in 1961. Because this so-called peace plan is worse, after all, is worse than that. Because it has no meaning to address the root causes that led to this war. There's nothing in it on how people can express themselves and come out with a concrete solution that resolves the root causes of this war. So really, I don't know really, Comrade Chris, because I don't know how we have to hammer this into the minds of all Ambazonians to stay away from this crook, because he's a liar, he's a scammer. Oh, we could hear his voice in that audio talking about the international community coming to do this. Who is the international community he's referring to? Who is the international community he's referring to? So please let us beware of this fellow. He's a scammer. All Southern Cameroonians should know him and stay away from everything that has to do with him. He has already failed from the celebrations of 1st October. You will see that he has failed woefully. So let us beware. Let us only circulate this information. Make sure that all Ambazonians are aware of this fellow and that he has no chance of deceiving another person other than himself.
And what would you have to say about the rule of the bishops? Because they have not been honest in this.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know how connected they are to this conference. But if they are, then I wouldn't be surprised because you see, the church throughout history has been siding with colonialism, with oppressors throughout, especially the Catholic Church. You need to read the history of the Catholic Church and see the devilish role they have played in all wars of oppression on earth. They collaborated with Hitler. They did all kinds of things. So we know the Catholic Church history is stained with blood. So the Catholic Church in Cameroon should not repeat this same mistake that the Catholic Church elsewhere has been making to go around siding with oppressors to take away people's freedom and take away the gifts of God from the people. So we should not allow that. And if they have been doing that, then it's a terrible mistake. It's a terrible mistake, especially from the Archbishop. So many people respect archbishops, they even worship him. So he should take advantage of that situation and cause people more harm by going to betray their freedom. If they don't know the history of the Southern Cameroons, let them check. Because if they had, there was even a simple document that links the Southern Cameroons to La République du Cameroon, they could bring out that document and say, okay, we are starting on the basis of this document. But there is no one single line of document anywhere that binds the Southern Cameroons to La République du Cameroon. That enough should tell the bishops that that is a no-go zone. To start negotiating with someone who has no links with you simply because they use the gun to sit on you. They are using only the gun to sit on Southern Cameroonians. We have challenged La République du Cameroon to give freedom of speech, allow Southern Cameroonians to meet freely in their territory, to be able to discuss this conflict in their territory, to share literature on this conflict in their territory, to invite people to address them, and so on. But you see, Cameroon is stifling freedom of thought and expression just so that it can continue to deceive the people because it believes that if it is the only voice to be heard, the people will end up believing it. If you put a satellite dish, they will come and bring it down. If they see you watching ABS, they will arrest you and so on. All of these are oppressive tendencies that we see in Cameroon. And the bishops cannot continue to support that oppression because they themselves are free from it. So let us beware and let us tell the bishops clearly that they are taking the wrong path. What we want is for the people of the Southern Cameroon to speak for themselves. They have not appointed any bishops to speak for them. They have not appointed a couple Daniel to speak for. Who represents absolutely nobody. He has no organization that has any participants or any members. He has nothing that he can show to say there is a leader in the Southern Cameroon. So let us be aware of all this confusion that Capo and the bishops are introducing at this time in this struggle. Let them only work for the people of the Southern Cameroon to express themselves. That is all we want. We are not imposing any solution. We are saying that no solution should be imposed on the people of the Southern Cameroons, either by the international community, by La République du Cameroon, by any country. Let them ask the people of the Southern Cameroons what they want through an internationally supervised referendum, and they will tell the world with their own mouths what they want.
All right. So far, as I stated, Ambazonian leadership, they have said they will not be part of that thing in Canada unless transparency is brought forth, placed on the table, and all the parties are free to contribute to the agenda of that meeting. Comrades, if you guys can stay put in there, I'm going to open the phone lines and let's hear from Ground Zero and the diaspora what is in their minds, hearing what we just brought forth here, what we just exposed here this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will have the phone number put on screen, and you can go ahead, call to ask a question, to make a contribution from the subjects that we have discussed today. The phone line is there. Before you call, make sure that the volume of your television set is lowered or shut down. You focus on your phone when you are making a call. The phone line is there again on your screen. It's there on your screen. Okay, let me get to the first caller here. Hello.
Hello, Comrade Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
Yes, so I'm calling from Tunja Country, precisely from Babsi, LG.
Wonderful. How was Ghost Town there? Oh, no, Ghost Town was on Monday. So, yeah, tell me what is on your mind.
Yeah, Comrade Chris, I'm just sorry. I didn't know you were supposed to be live. You know, it wasn't announced. I don't know. I just opened to ABS now and I saw you maybe just getting towards the end. Say another Foumban in the making. Well, I would just like to say that we really have to be very, very, very careful, and we should let the international community, especially Canada, to know that our hands are off those who are going there. That we should be able to let them know that we don't have ringleaders who are representing us. So they should know that any decision they are taking there has no impact on the ground. Thank you, Comrade Chris.
Thank you. That is very clear, and that is our position. And I don't think, let me say this, I don't think Canada has nothing. When I say Canada, I mean the government and country of Canada. I think Canada is just a hosting ground. It's not like the Canadian government has anything to do with that conference. No, I don't think so, because so far we've not heard of the involvement of the Canadian government. So the organization, ICO, is just using Canada as their host. But we've made it very clear to them. Of course, there is no way you go and sit in the conference and decide on Ambazonia when the interim government is not on the table, APLM is not on the table, SCNC is not on the table. Well, then which Ambazonians are you discussing with? So that is very clear. Thank you. Let me get to the next caller here. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Comrade Chris. Good evening, Comrade Dennis. Sama Thomas. We need to understand that what is happening, God has set everything in order, and nothing can change the will of God for Ambazonia. Whatever they are doing, they will get their result. So they can never succeed, because God has ordained Ambazonia to be free. Now, concerning Reverend Funky and Reverend Kia, remember, history has made us very clear that Roman Catholic Church has never stood for the truth. And the Bible makes us understand Roman Catholic Church, Lutheran Church, and the rest of those churches that are supporting the government. And let me tell Capo Daniel that the Bible says, whosoever diggeth a pit for the righteous will fall inside, himself will fall into that pit. So Capo Daniel, Reverend Funky, and Bishop Kia, they will fall in their own pit that I think because Ambazonia people are standing for the truth, and they will succeed, because you cannot fight the truth and you cannot succeed against the truth. So let them understand that. So they are digging their own pit and they will fall into their own pit. So let them understand that, because God has already done his will to the Ambazonia, and the Ambazonia will take the land, even the whole world will arise. They will never succeed. They will never succeed. They will stand against Ambazonia. They will never succeed, because God is with them. So thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Well said. Nothing to add to it. All right. Let's get to this other caller here. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Where are you calling from, sir?
Yeah, this is Maitre Nikon from the Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let me begin by thanking you and your panels, especially my able friend, Mr. Dennis. I'm glad to see all of you there on screen. So,
thank you.
And I also want to thank you for always taking your time so you can enlighten our people on things that are happening. I think, Comrade Chris, the major issue of today's broadcast could have been the vibrant celebration of our Independence Day of 1st October. I think it was magnificent, even though it sent a lot of shivering across the Mongo. I know even the Black Legs, till now I've not seen one of them come on any media forum on the out there in La Republic Cameroon and speak and make any nonsense about anything. So there's shockwave running all across La Republic Cameroon in regard that Independence Day celebration. They saw it, they tried to hide it. It is everywhere on the media. Even though maybe some of our fighters could not release all of their videos, but all is flowing right now. Every day the celebrations are still ongoing as we speak.
Right.
Anytime, any day, nobody absent from any job. they go back there and celebrate. It's our independence. Nobody is taking it from us, and nobody will take it again from us. And let's not have spread the information about Canada. Canada is nothing in regard to the conference. If it was something to be preaching about, I think the Canadian government could have sent out a communique. Then we can develop. Capo Daniel, all of us.
No, comrade, you make a mistake. You make a mistake. I just stated here that the Canadian government has nothing to do with the conference.
Exactly my point. So let us just spread the information. Let's keep it in the dark.
No, you don't have to wait until you don't have to wait until they come out with their peace plans and then say Ambazonian leaders sat and agree and then begin to send it to international, to the diplomatic circle, and then we begin to run after them. No, we give very clear from the beginning, we are not part of it.
Sir, Comrade Grace, I understand you very well.
Okay.
Ambazonians are very intelligent set of people. We are wise enough. We can smell the scent of any perfume, even in a bottle that is not yet open. We know what is good for us, and we are going for what is good for us. Nobody can derail or be it who. We'll all assemble in Koya, fix our errors, unite like brother, one man, one people, one country, and then we live our lives. Whatever is going on right now is just empty hot air. Let's support any leader who's down, raise them up, encourage ourselves, and then we don't need to right our wrongs in public. Please, that's my plea to every leader of the Ambazonian liberation fight. So,
all right, thank you for the call.
Especially my friend, Mr. Atem can call me later when you go back. I mean, after the show, we have some information to discuss about in Kenya. Thank you very much. Even you, Mr. Sama Thomas, I've tried to reach you behind the scene repeatedly. It's like you are always very busy doing things. I've been to Belgium repeatedly, shipping goods down there to our IDPs, and I wanted to even contact you so I can get some information, but I'm not getting. Anyway, thank you very much, Comrade Chris, and all your panelists. So God bless.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know if you have my number, but if you do not, then ask Comrade Chris to give my number.
Hello. All right, the phone line is still open. The phone line is still open. Go ahead and call. I see. Hello, comrade. Good evening, sir. Not to go far, please. Who is Capo Daniel? Please, please. We don't want to hear anything from sellouts like these guys. We have suffered enough for some buffon denier against us. All right. Okay, let me get back to the phones. Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Republic du Douala.
La République du Douala. Okay, what is on your mind, sir?
I want to greet everybody, especially you, all the panelists there. I want to greet them for their braving, standing for Amazonian for quite a long time now, because I follow all of them since the struggle started and they are still there. Right. I want to thank you. I want to say there is nothing that will ever be done in the dark that we will not see. As you are out there as leaders, always open your eyes, always try to get every information so that nothing should be done to distract the struggle, because we are ready. We are already ready. They have seen what have happened there on the ground 1st October. Everybody have seen.
Right.
Capo Daniel is just doing what, I don't know what he's doing. He's just wasting his time, because there's nothing that he can do to change what is happening on the ground. They've already known who he is, because he has done a lot of wrong things. If they were to arrest people, he should be the first person to arrest for what he has done. So what they are doing there is just nothing. It's nothing, because criminals don't go to talk to the righteous people. They don't go to negotiate for people who want what is right. because they don't have that potential. So I just wonder we should forget about them. But thank you for exposing that, because everything has shown that everybody have understood what is going on the background. But thank you, sir. Thank you. I don't have much to say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. God bless. All right. All right. The phone line is open. What is going to take place in Canada is particularly approach to problem solving, but nothing works for the resolution if the major partner, like the interim government, is absent or disagrees. All right, that's somebody writing in there. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Comrade Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from La Republique, Cameroon.
Okay, what is on your mind, sir?
Yes, I've listened to what others have said, and I must first thank you guys in the studio for the job you are doing to inform people who doesn't know what is all about this struggle. My contribution is I'm just advising each and everyone to stay calm, focus, be united, because if we are not united, this struggle is going to take long. But if we are united, we speak with one voice, if we advise each other and we take the advice and make good use of the advice, I think sooner or later we will achieve what we have behind. That is my own contribution for this evening.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Stay safe out there.
You are welcome.
All right. Now, comrade, let me get back to you. Talking about the bishop. Let me just get this call up before I get back there. Hello. This guy looks like Paul Atanganji. Hello, sir.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good
This
evening.
man calling from Bunda.
Calling from Bunda. You look more like Paul Atanganji.
Oh, not at all.
All right, calling
Not at all.
from Bunda. Okay, what is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, what is on my mind is really that I don't know those two gentlemen. I'm talking of the reverends.
Okay.
Ever since the beginning of this crisis, they've been so anxious. I don't know whether they have a special agenda to become victims of this war. I don't know. They have always been going contrary to what we expect. I don't know what's wrong with them. And then on the other side, you have the so-called Capo Daniel. That guy is a wizard. Please, you don't have to have anything to do with him in terms of negotiations. Stay away from it and we stay fast. Let's stand on our goals and we make sure we succeed. Please, please. That guy is a devil. I think he too wants to be taken out of the game. I don't know. He's just lucky that he's really in the diaspora. I think he would have attracted himself, our soldiers, to take him out of the game. Please stay away from him. There's nothing good that can come out of him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. I'm sure you already heard what I said, that we have made it very clear. Even if we were to attend such a conference, he cannot sit on the same side with us, considering that he has long turned to the other side, which is the side of La République du Cameroon. When you see a freedom fighter sending motions of support to Paul Biya, you know which side he belongs and where his advocacy is. That is exactly what Capo Daniel has turned into. So, but again, the whole thing is shrouded in secrecy, and with that, there is no way we can even attempt to go sit there and have a symbolic presence.
Exactly. What we are fighting for is justice and transparency. If those gentlemen of the church cannot come in with the transparency and justice, let's put them away. And if this guy Capo Daniel thinks he can play a trick on us. Because the way you even hear his discourse to the fighters on the ground is just a sell out. It's a sell out, and we don't have to have anything to do with that guy. He is not serious. It's a sell out.
Thank you.
I'm sure he must have, but he thinks he's going to grow rich, or probably La Republica must have promised him a ministerial post. We don't know. He wants to start dancing the same song like Tanganji and the rest. I don't know. Please, he has no place to be around us. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think they promised him anything. I think he is they've already given him money. He failed to deliver, and now he is trying at all costs to deliver. I think that is what is going on. He has taken enough without delivery, because I remember it was, I think it was about 6 months ago, we all heard an audio message in there between him and one La République du Cameroon government official pressing on him to deliver. And he was demanding half of the money. I think it was 500 million CFA francs that they said they had given him, and that he needs to deliver. It wasn't long after that the change comes. He left the egg of sea, started his own thing, and then immediately started advocating for La République du Cameroon and talking about some devolution. That is rotation of power between the regions, something like that. But of course, knowing what we know, there is no way again we can go sit on the table, especially when Capo Daniel entered into a secret memorandum of understanding with the organization that is hosting or sponsoring the conference called ICO. We have demanded to see that memorandum of understanding. Again, ICO has refused or remains reluctant to put it out for us to see. So why should we waste our time going to sit on the table on a case where the results are already known, are already written? So,
Comrade Chris,
but for the bishop, just as Comrade Dennis, you said, both of you said, those guys are very disingenuous. I don't know what gospel they preach. They are not acting or behaving so far as men of God. They are behaving as proxies for La République du Cameroon. Now, many people out there do not know this. I mentioned in my monologue that we had a meeting here in the USA with the Reverend Samuel Funky Samuel and Archbishop Nke. They flew from Cameroon first, ladies and gentlemen. They landed here in Texas. I was shocked. They landed here in Texas and called to say they want to meet with yours truly. And somebody called me and said the bishop and the reverend gentleman are in Houston. They want to meet with you. I was surprised that people will fly from Cameroon coming to Houston, Texas to meet with me, and they will not tell me they are coming to meet with me. So I told the agent they sent to me to tell them I am not going to meet with them. They left, scheduled another meeting, came back. This time we met in our office, the diplomatic mission office in Washington, D.C. And they said to us, they want Ambazonian leaders to come together, meet in the Vatican. Of course, now do not forget, this meeting we are talking about, Canada, is ultimately passing through the Vatican to Yaoundé. But the bishop said to us, they want us, the leaders, to meet in the Vatican, and they don't want us to stay away from that meeting. We had our consultations within the consultation commission, and we responded, well, we went to Switzerland, we talked to ourselves. We went to Canada and talked to ourselves. If we are going to the Vatican to still talk to ourselves, we are not ready to do that. If Cameroon wants to come to the Vatican and we sit down and start some preliminary discussions, We are ready the next day to meet them at the Vatican. That was our message to them. But the bishops in K and the Reverend Samuel Funky followed up and said, listen, as if they were trying to advise us on what will bring an end. They thought we were maybe rushing for a quick fix to the conflict. They said, you people should stop talking about independence. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me. If you are one of your church members, hear what your pastors they are doing out here. They said to us, stop talking about independence. If you are talking about independence, come on, that's the reason why Cameroon is not talking. It's not coming to the table. You guys should start talking about autonomy. And come to find out, they were coming from Canada to meet with Capo Daniel because we asked them along the way, which other Amazonian leaders have you met? They said they met with Capo Daniel. In fact, they had gone, I think they met Capo Daniel on this conference thing at least 3 times in Canada. It was then we made it very clear to the bishops, Capo Daniel isn't one of us, doesn't speak for Ambazonia, he's not on our side, and any meeting involving Capo Daniel, we will not be part of it, especially when he is the initiator, as this conference seems to be. We will not be part of it. We cannot sit on the table. He can sit on the table on the other side of La République du Cameroon. That is okay. Not on the side of Ambazonia because our language is not that of devolution and autonomy. Our language is that of total independence. And so we told them, if you are calling for any meeting and you think that Cabo Daniel will sit on our side, that is not going to happen. And then the message they left with was that Ambazonian leaders are ready. That's what we told them. We are ready to meet with Cameroon. If they want us to meet in the Vatican tomorrow, next day, next month, we are all ready. They were surprised. They were taken unawares when they heard this message. And good enough, I wasn't the only one giving them the message. There were other leaders in there speaking the same message to them. So, come to find out, this thing is all about what Capo Daniel and this ICO group has put out there. I read their tentative plan for the 2 days conference yesterday. Dennis, you sent that thing to me. And you'll be shocked. They are talking about the release of prisoners. They are talking about the DDR. What is the abbreviation to that? They're talking about DDRO. They're talking about ceasefire, laying down arms, and how to ensure that the ceasefire would work, enforcement, inspections, and stuff like that. And after I read that thing, I'm like, for real? So they have already concluded that this peace plan ends the war and the prisoners are released and guns are laid down and surrendered. Surrendered to La République du Cameroon. In one particular statement stated that the peace plan will be submitted to the government, the government. Of course, we know what government I'm talking about. That is the government of La République du Cameroon. So, comrades, this thing is coming from Yaoundé, and do not forget, this is the anniversary of the Grand National Dialogue. The Grand National Dialogue, and they are not stupid with what they are doing. If we dare go sit on any table with them and agree on a peace plan that does not talk about independence, Cameroon will take that thing, run with it, give us everything that is written in there, and then 5 years after, slowly they start taking it back, as they have done. Comrade Sama, I see you trying to say something there. Go on.
No, I was saying that like you're saying, 5 years after, they will backtrack from everything like they did in Foumban. For Foumban was suspended, and Foumban has never been recalled. Even you are talking about 5 years after, they will sitting the next 60 years or 63 plus years. They will never mention anything about it again, but they will just breach everything that was written in the books, like it was the case with Foumban.
Absolutely. As Comrade Atemkin said it, the whole Article 47 of the Foumban Constitution, if they could take that away without shame, and today, the Republicans will tell you, nothing existed like Article 47. No, it didn't exist. You guys are misinterpreting it, whereas it clearly stated there is no way the federal structure, the federal system can be dealt away with. And you think that we can go sit in Canada and put some white paper on the table and the thing stays? Go on, please.
Comrade Chris, it was clearly stated that Article 47, anybody that will make an attempt of tampering with Article 47 of the Federal Constitution was a high treasonable felony, and that person should be dealt with. But what happened? But anyway, what happened to it? Ahijo waved it with the back of the hand and changed everything to make us become a colony of La Republic Cameroon, and Kea and Funky wants to remain as a colonized people. I just heard this evening or yesterday that the people of Diego Chegosha have been freed, though handed over to Mauritius Island, but at least the British have removed their hands.
Who has been freed? Who has been freed?
The people of Diego Chegosha, the island of Diego Chegosha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, will we get back to the phones? We will get back to the phones. But before we get back to the phones, let me make a very special appeal to everyone listening out there or watching. Comrades, you guys understand the place that ABS plays in this liberation fight for our independence. For some time now, ABS has really been struggling to stay up and running, and the reason is just because of one thing: finances. We have to pay the satellite that transmit the signals from the USA to Africa. We have to pay the studios that we rent. We have to pay internet that we use to transmit the signal. And when I talked about internet, I'm not talking about $50 internet. The speed that we use in the studio to upload video to the satellite is 1,000 gigabytes up, 1,000 gigabytes down. Now, to give you the difference, if you have internet in your home, I think the internet in your home is probably just 50 gigabytes up and 50 down, some of it less. But it takes us 1,000 gigabytes. That is extremely fast. 1,000 gigabytes to send video signals smooth enough as you watch it on ground zero, as clean as it is. It takes us that level of high-speed internet to transmit the signal to the ground. So we have these bills that we pay every month. And not only this, we also have to provide to the restoration fighters on the ground. And we also have other bills that we made. And so for this reason, ABS has really been struggling to meet up with the bills. Almost a number of months now, we have to call a few people to put a few funds together to be able to pay the bill and keep it running. I want to make a very special appeal to you. We are having an impromptu fundraiser for ABS tomorrow on Zoom. It will also be taking place on TV, but I want to plead with you. If you know that ABS is playing an indelible role, it's a great platform that takes our messages not just to Ambazonia but to the international community. I believe you don't want to see ABS shut down. I own ABS. It's a private property, but I don't use it for the purpose for which I created it. The moment they cracked in, the movement came and they went away with the ABC. I had no option but to surrender this, put this in the hands of the interim government to run it, to pay for it, and then we use it to send our messages to where they should go. And we have done that very effectively. ABS is the most watched channel in all of Ground Zero. We want to keep it so. And so I want to really make this strong appeal to you. Please, please, if you can support ABS with a donation of $50, $100, $1,000, I am appealing to you to join the Zoom town hall for the fundraiser tomorrow. The link will circulate. I think the link is actually circulating now. But you can go ahead now. Send in your donation. This number you used to call here is a Cash App number. You can send a donation on that number. It will come to us. A Cash App donation, it will come to us. But I'm really pleading with you. I really want to see we can raise about $20,000 tomorrow that can pay ABS for the next 6 months. For the next 6 months. So please, please, I appeal to you to join this fundraiser tomorrow. Let's keep ABS running for the interest of our struggle. All right. I hope you got that. Let's get back to the phones. Go ahead. If you want to call, go ahead and call. Let's open the phone line. Please get the phone number back on the screen. Get the phone number back on the screen. You can call with your contribution. Let's know what you have on your mind. All right. The phone number is right there on your screen. All right. While we vote for any calls, Comrade Sama, if you have something last to say, go ahead and say it so I can let you go to bed, and I will continue here.
What I can say, Comrade Chris, thank you for having me today, and let me say hi to Comrade Dennis, whom I didn't have the chance to say hi to. What I can say is that without ABS, it will be difficult for us to disseminate our information out there. So I'm pleading to all Southern Cameroonians to join us tomorrow and see if we can raise funds to sustain ABS for the next 6 or 1 year. What about 1 year even? Then, for those that thought that the struggle was dying, I hope they saw what happened, what transpired in Ground Zero on the 1st of October. And they now know that the struggle is still kicking and alive. It will never die until that day that we reach Buea. But the question now is, how long is it going to take us to reach Buea? Is how deep we put our hands into our pockets. How long it will take us to reach Buea is how many people are involved in putting their hands deep into their pockets. For the journey can be shortened depending on how many people are contributing financially. The journey will be long depending on how many people are putting their hands in their pocket. Are you one of those that will be seated on the fence or sitting on the fence? If you are, then step down from your fence and support us to reach Buea as fast as possible.
Thank you very much, Comrade Sama. That was well said. Thank you for joining me tonight. You have a great night, sir. All right, you heard that. That was well said, ladies and gentlemen. I have said here before that if anybody is sitting out there thinking we're gonna fail in this crusade for a free and independent Ambazonia, I think by now there should be enough conviction that that is not going to happen. The only thing that can happen is it can be delayed for the reasons Sama has spelled out: insufficient finances. So again, we can't stress this enough. if you have been standing by the wayside, this is the time for you to rise up. Let's put our hands together, put our hands in our pocket, and make sure that this crusade is a successful one. And talking about ABS, ABS is very, very widely watched across Africa, in the USA and Europe. The first time or the second time, the FBI came to my home to interrogate me over these things, those petitions by Nsalai Emmanuel. Salai Emmanuel filed those reports, filed one of the reports on me, and got the FBI coming to my house to interrogate me or interview me. And I was surprised with something the FBI officer said. He said they monitor everything that we say. They have a desk in their office that is tuned to ABS YouTube page, and every moment we are live, they are watching and they are listening to what we say. That is to tell you how much they know that ABS is one of the strongest platforms for this Amazonian liberation fight. So please, let's not allow it to go down. Let's not allow it go down. I really want to still appeal to you to join us tomorrow or today. You can use the number on your screen. You can use the number on your screen to make a Cash App donation even today before tomorrow. And if you will not be in the town, or if you are not going to be in the town hall, you cannot be there maybe because of one commitment or the other, that phone number on your screen, you can use it to make a Cash App donation. That is for those of you who are listening or watching from the USA. You can use that number for a Cash App donation. In the absence of any callers, maybe I should call it a night here. I will give you 5 minutes. If there is no call, I will call it a night. But I'd like you to just stay put, watch this little video here, watch this footage here. It's quite interesting. Watch it, please.
Genesis, Ambazonia don't fight this struggle now for 8 years. And they don't over buy bullet. They don't over buy gun there. Buy plenty thing there. They don't over. One day we ever use like Mojo talk say Mojo bring and down say we ever use 500,000 for each day for Amazonia per day. Yeah, for 500,000. I would not fight this struggle now for 8 years.
500,000 times 1 with 3.5 times 4, 14 times 4, 168 times 8 year, 168 million times 8 year. That means now 1,344 million. Where the road spend for bullet 1,344 million.
Okay, we never buy gun any year. Amazonia never buy gun for Mujo talks 700 million. So we don't buy a gun now for 8 years.
So 700 million times 2, again 8,400 billion. Then times 8 years. That means all the amount where they don't use at one time. Now 67,200 billion. The billion where they don't use at buy and day.
Where Amazonia don't use that for the 8 years.
For the 8 years, there's 67,200 billion money for buy the gun.
Okay, I say as for you now, you don't say Amazonia will win the war or no win.
They get not be say I don't see they get for win because Amazonia and stone water they can't do now. What the stone the only in position because stone of it worker. There is stone over heavy stone, but water the worker anyhow. But I want to say make they don't worry when I say 2025 next year number 4 more on the 18th around 9:45 p.m. when I'll start laugh.
Okay.
About 4 more 2025.
I said, wait till you get for talk for Amazonia today. for their first October.
I get what they say. They need to do serious fasting prayer, serious fasting prayer because the prayer, because the prayer God gets something what there.
Today.
Yes.
Okay. That means it would celebrate your first October today. We celebrate and fine.
But I can't celebrate because God day. God lie when I serious. Because if the God not be lie when I like that 2019 not be easy for when I like.
Okay.
That the 2019 now the all man up the all man up be day.
That mean we make all civilians today be happy now.
Because if all they not be happy, if so far as they wanna be happy, civilians don't really be happy.
Okay. No, I don't hear. No, thank you. That mean anything we Amber decide for the Amber land, it go happen now.
It can happen because they decide now with God, because God they because for they know God, but shoe a common our friends side they don't know God. But you actually take concerning God for French shoe, you're pulling about
that mean French people they come for Amber land for to destroy our people, they know.
Now that they be water, they want people be stoned.
Okay, no, confirm. No, we don't hear Mr. Genesis. No, what's the our first October 5?
All right. Did you guys listen to that mentally challenged guy? He spoke a lot of sense there. He said, Ambazonia, they're like stone. A lot of people there like water. Say water they run past stone, not a move. He said Ambazonia will gain independence April 2025 because again Ambazonia there like stone where water they run past, and that water where they run past is also run past now La Republic. That was quite interesting coming from somebody who is mentally challenged. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to call it a night here. I look forward to being back here on Monday. And in the meantime, you guys, all of you out there, you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless you all.
Target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms,